Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Tim with Right Rudder Marketing. If you're a flight school owner, you probably came across this article a little while ago, or you're maybe on our site. It's one of our most popular blog articles that we have. It's the 5 tips to grow your flight school. So I'm just gonna, we have the blog article and people can read it. It's out there already. However, I think it's, a lot of people like just to, watch me talk about it and listen, or maybe, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of go over the tips with you and elaborate more in detail and kind of sum up the key points that I kind of found over working at it. This article was published last year when we first started. This is 5 tips to grow your flight school. And, the tips still remain true today. I still believe that what we said a year ago, 2 years ago almost now, what we said 2 years ago really applies even to this day, right? So, first thing you got over here is, first off, we are a marketing agency for flight schools, for aviation businesses, and we basically do everything under the digital internet marketing, umbrella. And what our goal really is to use every single lever that's out there, whether that's Google ads, whether that's Facebook ads, whether that's Instagram ads, whether that's making your website look right, whether that's converting people. We do that all in the effort of getting more people to enroll at your flight school and increasing your revenue, increasing your profits. With more revenue, if you manage it right, it gets more profit. And overall, what it really is about is delivering that impact to all of our students' lives. If you are able to train a student pilot and you're able to really get them through the program, it's life changing. That's a career change for a lot of people, and it's very impactful. And that's That's a big reason why we get into it, right? Is we want to impact our students. We want to bring value to our students, and we want to help them. But they need to find us first. So that's the key here. How do they find us first, and how do we get them to enroll and grow the flight school, right? So first thing first is over here is, make it easy to book a discovery flight. So what's the main method people use to book discovery flights? I think back then people would just find maybe a flight school in the yellow pages if that existed, and then call them. You talk to the front desk. They write your name on a piece of paper and then ship it off. A lot of stuff has changed. A lot of it's online. Most of it's online. 99% of everything's online. So, with that being said, the way we do it online is usually through the website. That's usually the primary tool of getting someone in our own world. We all want to have the sphere of influence of students, of customers. I know a lot of high schools don't want to say customers, but it's customers. We want to bring them into our world, and when they first find us on the internet, they're going to look at our website, right? So that's kind of what this is about. It's about looking at your website, making sure you have the right thing. So I want to emphasize something right here. It is the header. So this is like the first bang, right? This is what you see on the internet. This is what you get. So for example, just pull up. I like this one. This is the one we did a little while ago. This Sun City, boom, right there. Become a professional pilot. Has the entire team. Got some subtle animations there. It just really kicks at you and just says this is the flight school that you want to work with. This is it. So. Making that header really pop is part of it, right? It's definitely part of it. So the next thing we talk about, and like I said, 80% of the website. Look at that. So when a visitor hops on your website, they're going to make a snap judgment whether you like it or not. And depending on how your header is looking, how your nav bar looks, how it looks on mobile, about a little more than half, I think 60% roughly, of website traffic on these types of websites, they're on the mobile device. So making sure that it looks good, they make that snap judgment right away. And if you don't have the right design, you don't look professional enough, they're not gonna they're not going to really want to talk to you. I mean, I've seen websites that has tons of traffic, but they're just not getting students. And we have to ask ourselves, why is that? Why are they not getting students? It's because they're not really getting this thing done. They're not really looking at they're not getting the header done. They're not positioning themselves the right way. So these are some things besides the header, that's kind of the main part. There's other parts you can put in the website. So you got stakes, why, this is also known as a UVP. The UVP stands for the unique value proposition. So what value are you bringing to your customer's life? That's it, So obviously it's like, hey, you're going to fly a plane. It's cool. That only works sometimes. A lot of times that might be career. So a lot of the people that we're seeing enrolling in these pilot programs, they're not doing it for recreational, for fun. They're usually career track ab initio type pilots that are trying to go to the airlines or corporate jets, whatever it is. You really want to sell them that dream. I hate to say sell the dream because and you want to help make them achieve that dream too. So stakes, value prop. I kind of brought over that guide. You got to establish yourself as authority. As the flight school, the steps that needs to be done. So private, instrument, commercial, CFI, 1,500 hours. So become the guide. You want to become the guide, have the plan of what it's called. I want to take on this one here. There's two things I want to talk about. Yeah, the news. The news is always fun to have, like announcements. Two things that I think is really important, as we've done this for almost 2 years now, going 3. Well, yeah, soon, maybe a decade. Right Rudder Marketing is going to be here for as long as I'm alive. So, two things I want to emphasize on these parts of here that a lot of people miss out on. So the first one's the video. This video right here is really a lot of flight schools miss this. I mean, it's really simple. Get a good video to summarize your program. Make a commercial. Make a commercial for your flight school. Post on your homepage, and people will click it. I mean, they'll click it, especially if it's an autoplay. They'll click it. So, next thing, call to action. That's the second, or that's the final kind of piece here. Your website should have some type of direction where visitors get funneled into a form where they can contact you, where basically they allow themselves to be entered into your world. So I have that call to action, schedule today, enroll today, apply for a discovery flight, apply for a scheduling discovery flight, apply for a scenic booking if you're into that stuff, if you do scenic flights, I see some flight schools do that. Make sure that's right. It's a good checklist. Speaking of checklists, we do have the marketing checklist over here that does kind of show what we're all about. It has all the stuff kind of summarized in here, and I recommend you guys click the link, download it, and check it out. So anyway, this kind of goes a brief overview. Phone number on top of the page, that's very important. Does it work on mobile? This is one that I struggle with. So it's one I struggle with when I work with flight schools. So a lot of times, getting appropriate media to represent your company. So that's your photos, your videos. Do they have people smiling? Is it genuine? People can tell if it's a stock image. People will know if it's a stock image. And I think you can get away with it for a while, but for me, as someone who looks at flight school websites on a day-to-day basis, I see the same photos being used. I mean, and I use them too. I'm because I'm not a flight school, but I see the same videos being used. I see the same content, same photos from 10 years ago being used. Sometimes when it gets really bad, is we're an American flight school, and then what I'll see is a plane with a C number or something like that, or something that's not an N number. I'm like, what is going on here? So obviously the visitor doesn't know this stuff, but it's still, you want to have the most genuine pictures. You really want to make sure you embody that culture, that kind of what is your message? You really want your photos to embody that message. 3 M's of marketing. You have your market, your message, and your medium. And it's on a video somewhere else. I could talk about that stuff. So videos. get the video going. Pathway, talk about that as well. All right. Next one is a GMB profile, Google Business Profile, GBP, Google My Business, whatever you want to call it. They changed the names a few times now. This is basically what happens when you search Google. So, for example, if I look up, let's say, Ideal Aviation. If I can spell it, Ideal Aviation, boom. This is the Google review. This is the Google Business Profile that we're referring to here. And there's a lot of things you can do to optimize them. So let me give you an example of something that's been optimized pretty well. And this is the one it's kind of my poster child here. So what we have in here, we have up-to-date photos. Click this. Where are they? Up-to-date photos. This was a year ago, but I believe there's more recent ones. Latest. This was a week ago. So they're popping this stuff every other day here. They got, we came from 0 reviews to, where are we now? We're at 30 reviews, is that saying? Yeah, 30 reviews, 35-star reviews. They are just rocking it. I also added products in here, so products is a good thing to add. You can add a CFI, private pilot course, and even if you click each one, you can actually add more details and keywords and then links to your website. So that's a pretty cool thing to add on your GMB profile. And then you have updates. So we haven't done the update in May, but you want to add updates to your Google Business Profile. That's another one. Other ones I've seen, other popular ones are like questions. So for example, let's see, right? And sometimes a lot of people just do this by themselves. A lot of people will ask, about the business, I don't know, just on their own whim. But there's also this Q&A section there that people have. So like, what services does your flight school offer? You can say, oh, we do ab initio pilot training, career track pilot training, private pilot. We get people ready for the airlines, things like that. And answer the question, right? Phones are going off here. Sorry about that. Okay, so where am I now? Here it is. All right, so that's GMB. There's some things in here like create an offer. So you can add that on your products. That's what you have, and also your descriptions. Turn on the chat. Chat has a mechanism there. Updates. That's why I mentioned here. Products. There's also a link here to the Google Developer Docs, I believe, that has some good information over resources, FAQ, all this type of stuff. That's very, very helpful. All right, onboarding experience. So the minute that someone goes onto your website and then starts interacting with it, you're already like designing and manufacturing this onboarding experience. The minute they send the form, first off, the website has to go to the form and they have to leave the contact information. That's part of onboarding. The second part is what happens next after they submit a form. And that's where a lot of people drop the ball. Sometimes they'll let the lead sit for like days. It's like, what are you doing? Ideally, you get someone to fill the form within a couple hours. I mean, you should have your front desk, dispatch, someone or admin assistant, whatever it is. Someone needs to be calling that lead right away, saying, "Hey, notice you are on our website. Dropped in the form. My name is Casey. I work here at Right Rudder Flight School, and saw you were interested in pilot training. Tell me a little bit about your story, And a lot of times what will happen is, how do I explain it? A lot of times the front desk will just really get to the detail, like, oh, when do you want to do a discovery flight? When do you want to do this? There is a finesse and an art to sales. There is a finesse to taking it back, asking questions about the student, what are their goals, qualifying them. So, asking them about their background. Do they have? You don't want to ask directly, maybe, hey, do you have the funds for this? And you don't want to talk about price right away. You want to provide the value of the flight training. Say, hey, yeah, a lot of our students go through our program. They finish within about a year and a year or 2 years. They get their CFI, CFII, their MEI. They start instructing and making a living off of, making a pilot career, within a year or 2 years. And after that, they're in airlines. In fact, we have many alumni you can check our website. If you've seen our website, we have different testimonials from other students that were in very similar situations as yours. and you kind of just feed them the dream, feed them tidbits of information, feed them tidbits about your flight school, and then talk about the details. Hey, when do you want to come in to visit our school? Do you want to check out a plane? Do you want to go for a ride in the plane and go for we call this an intro flight, an intro discovery flight, and you'll be paired with a certified flight instructor. You don't use acronyms. You don't say CFI. They don't know what a CFI is. You'll be paired with a certified flight instructor who will take you up, answer all your questions about pilot training, aviation, and then we can come up with a tailored career plan just for you that works with your schedule to get it going. And things like just things like that. And let's say that's part of the onboarding. That's part of the sales, right? They say yes. What's next, right? The next one is, are they getting on the schedule? What about all this onboarding paperwork? Did you get your TSA pre-check done? All this type of stuff gets funneled in here. There's a lot of document creation. So having, some types of forms ready to go, the render's agreement ready, have that stuff ready to go. And what I've seen in some flight schools that are really, really knock it out the park, take it 5 steps farther, is they prepare like a flight bag for all their new students, and they have the pilot logbook. Basically, they pay obviously there's like an onboarding fee maybe or something like that, or like a pilot bag fee or something. And basically, when you enroll in the school, you get the FAR aim, you get you get a pilot logbook, maybe a copy of the syllabus, maybe the textbook. If applicable, if you're not doing the online ground school type stuff, your Part 141. And then also maybe a flyer or some goodies, maybe some snacks even in the bag, a bottle of water, Make the onboarding experience special. Just don't take the guy up on a flight and say, hey, want to book a lesson? Give them a tour. You make sure that your whole place is clean and organized. Front desk is clean. I've walked in so many flight schools and there's spider webs on the corner ceiling. It's it's nasty. Now, granted, my disillusion, I had these Jules eyes of aviation at the time. I'm like, oh my God, planes. And I was able to overlook that, but not everyone's like that. Some people are a little bit more picky about what they choose, who they choose, especially if you're in a competitive area. If your planes are not nice, if your place is not clean and organized, they'll know. I mean, they'll find out just by walking into your school. Oh, this is this type of school. Okay, this is a cowboy show. Granted, there's levels to that, right? Then you have the overly professional. Maybe that's not your ideal client. Maybe that's not your ideal customer or student. You have the ones where you gotta wear uniform, emulants, whatever, and dress up, and you need to be here at this time and this. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's a very good thing. But you're going to be attracting a certain type of student for that type of thing. So you have to make sure your market, 3M's again, market, media, message. Make sure it's solidified, because all this stuff has to kind of work in synchronization. I talk about making sure a place is clean. I used to work in manufacturing, and one of the things that we had is called the MSS. It was called the Master Sanitation Schedule. Manufacturing has their own set of acronyms too. It's not just aviation. So, Master Sanitation Schedule referred to the schedule in which all the factory employees, or the team of factory employees called the sanitation crew, they would clean certain things at a certain time. So, for example, every day the floor got mopped. And then every week the wall got cleaned. Every month, we cleaned this room. Every quarter we cleaned the ceiling. Every year we empty out the fridge or something. So you have to create the schedule and then hold your team accountable to it. That's kind of what I meant by here. This is not the recurring schedule. This is more for this stuff here. Make sure to clean the school on a verified frequency. Keyword is verification. So this is kind of a management leadership thing now. So whenever you give an assignment to a team member, you have to trust but verify. I don't know if you heard this before. Trust but verify. So you give them the task, you trust your team member to do it, but you don't just let it run. You have to manage it. You have to verify it. Last thing is for onboarding is, make sure you get them on the calendar. Make sure you get their schedule going. Make sure they have at least a slot booked out for a month. Because if you do this like kind of laissez-faire, I'll book whenever I feel like it. I'll do whatever I want. And some flight schools can get away with it if they're not that busy. But once it gets super busy, you really want to have everyone on the schedule. Like, hey, I'm flying every Monday and Tuesday. He's flying every Wednesday and Thursday. He's flying every Friday and Saturday. This CFI is going with Tom. This CFI is going with Jill. This CFI is going with Jack, And that's how it works. You have the schedule built out. You organize the students. You organize the planes. You or helicopters. And you organize the schedule based on their availability. And I know there's some tools out there that there's like people are trying to tout this AI stuff. The best way to do it is just Tetris it up. I know I hate to say it. The technology has not gotten there yet. I mean, people are working on it, but it's not there. So I think maybe in a year it might be. You never know. So, okay. Last one, grow your reviews. So I talked about the Google Business Profile. This is probably one of the bigger impacts in the Google Business Profile is getting more reviews. It just makes you more authoritative, When people see that you have, 100 reviews for a flight school, it's great. People can trust you. If 100 people have gone through your school and they've said this is a great place to train, then they're gonna choose you. It's just compared to the school that only has 5 reviews. You just have such a bigger presence. So I really emphasize this to all flight schools, but especially Right Rudder Marketing flight schools. The flight schools that work with us. I really emphasize the reviews because that really that's the final cherry on the top. Just Salt Bay. Get those reviews. What I gave to some of our all our clients, it was a placard. They have a placard with a QR code, and it also has like a touch tap on their phone. They touch their phone on it, boom, and it brings up the review on their phone. We've also given them nurture sequences or email copy for flight schools or for further students. That's saying, hey, notice that you are a past student or you are a current student. Can you support us by leaving a review? Just send that email out, and we've actually got some really good success with just asking. That's all it requires. That's probably the best cake is just asking them. I do offer some other things in here, like maybe offer them a discount to get the review. I think the best time to do it would be right after the check ride. If they have not already left a review, get them on the check ride day. Say, hey, got your check ride. Bring out that placard with the QR code, and say, here, scan this really quick. Leave me a review. Take a picture too. By the way, okay, I'm just kind of going off with all this stuff now. So if you solicit reviews, right, and your customer leaves a great review, good words, 5 stars, and then adds a photo, that even pushes your Google Business Profile even more. And then if that photo was taken while they're flying in the air, above your local area, but maybe a little farther out, maybe in the practice area, what will happen is if it's on the phone, there's a thing called metadata where your phone will save the GPS coordinates into that photo. So when the customer or your student uploads that photo into Google Business, what will happen is Google will say, oh, this photo was taken here. And that signals to Google that, hey, and in this location where the photo was taken, this business has relevance, So that's how you can expand this ranking of organic ranking in the map. Is you have these geotagged photos, you have the keywords. Keywords is another aspect of it too. All right, next one. Start a newsletter or email campaign. What I really want to get here, and I think this has evolved over time, is you want to continually talk to your students somehow. Obviously your CFIs are the front linemen, the front lines. They're on the front. They're talking to your students every single day, and they're doing the job of training safe, proficient, excellent pilots, right? Now, you, as the owner, however, you still need to be present in those students' lives because you are responsible for their flight training. Let me say that one more time. You, as a flight school owner, is responsible for your students' success. Um, and you need to be able to nurture that relationship, whether or not they know you directly or not. They need to know of you. So creating videos is a good aspect. A lot of people do this like, they have a YouTube channel. They create ground school lessons. The owner does just basic aviation. This is how to fly a pattern. This is how to do instrument approach. This is a minimum alternate. You can go. There's so many topics in aviation. You can just blast them out. Creating content, syndicating that out to your flight circle, your flight circle, your students, your customer base is way to go. And one thing I've never seen a flight school do this. I always recommend it because I've heard it from. I took this nugget from the real estate industry. So there's a realtor that I met, and she was able to increase her sales or her whatever it is commissions by like 4 times in 1 year. Basically, she had been growing the business steadily over the course of time, and what she would do is she kept a CRM, not crew resource management, but customer relationship management software. So we offer that here as well in Right Rudder Marketing. But you need to have a database of every single person that's interacted in your school, and then ideally, if they're actually a student, have their birthday logged in there. And then you should get notified when someone's birthday is coming up. And then from there, you send them a personalized video message through Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, email if you have to. Just directly talk to them. It's just a 30-second video saying, hey, happy birthday. Or even the anniversary of a check ride. Saying, hey, it's been a year since your check ride. We haven't seen you in a bit. Hope you can drop by. Just want to say hi, and we're still here, so come fly with us. So that's something you can do here. I mean, the main aspect of it is not really the newsletter or email campaign. It's, are you touching your prospect? I don't mean that in a dirty way. I mean, are you somehow being relevant? Are you somehow on their top of mind somehow? Are they thinking about being a pilot? Are they thinking about flight training? Consistently feed the dream. Consistently talk to your customers. I know a lot of flight school owners. Most flight school owners I met are very, very nice, and they're very, very busy, but they usually interact with their students like all the time. If you're not doing that, then you have to start that. And doing the face-to-face interaction is good. But leaving something in their inbox is something, or leaving something on their DMs, their direct messagings, is really, or cell phone even. If you leave a cell phone message, it's very impactful. So yeah, you can do a newsletter, you can do YouTube videos, you can do just email, something like that, short video, whatever it is. So many different ideas here, but the idea here is not really just a newsletter. It's much more deeper than that. It's more so talking to your customer and getting it there. Okay, so I got the email campaign. Okay, last one here. Provide options or guidance for financing or scholarship. So this is kind of like the elephant in the room for flight training. Some flight schools just tackle it head on. Say, hey, here's our prices. Here's our prices per hour. Here's our packages. We do a private pilot package for $15,000. If you pay up all front, we'll do it at a 10% discount or something like that. I don't know. I've seen stuff like that before. So provide guidance on this. Now, here's 2 things. There's 2 things to consider here. So who's your target audience again? So I'll go back to the 3 M's of marketing, right? The 3 M's of marketing are what? Market, message, and medium. Market is who you're looking for. Who's your ideal target? That's market, right? Message is like your brand and how you display that message. Like, we are, career track flight school, or we are the fun flight school, or we are the family-oriented flight school. You want to have some type of brand that's in your message. And the last one is your medium. So are you tackling it through Instagram and Facebook? Are you tackling it through email? Are you tackling it through YouTube videos? Instagram posts, direct messages, phone calls. Phone calls is a very strong one, by the way. If I was a student pilot, I haven't flown in years, then out of nowhere, the owner of Right Rudder Flight School called me, and I flew there like a while ago, and I didn't, it just kind of went on my merry way. And the owner called me and said, "Hey, how you doing, Tim? How's it going? How's life? How's the wife? How's the kids?" "Oh, it's good. I haven't seen you in a while. Just call and check on you. It's been a little while. We just got a new plane. If you want to come by, or we just got a new simulator. If you want to come by and check it out, you're always welcome back here." And just that alone, man, just taking the time to talk to customers. I'll go on tangents on these. So I was going on 3Ms because who you're marketing to, who your target customer really matters here. So if you are trying to be the cheap flight school in the area, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes providing low cost service and excellent safe flight training is a very good deal. That's how I got involved, right? That's how I started with the cheapest flight school. And then I said, okay, it's a little far, and then I weighed my options. And I selected a different flight school, whatever. You're going to cater to a specific person. So if it's a lower income, maybe working class, middle class type individual, then maybe provide some financing options. Stratus, for example, we're partners with Stratus. Stratus has good options. There's Miritize, there's AOPA. FAA is now releasing check this out. FAA reauthorization bill came out, or just, I don't know, it's getting passed through Congress, Senate earlier this week, May 9th, I believe was when the press release went out. And part of that is actually, if I read this right, part of that is going towards scholarships, grants for flight training. So it's a very small percentage, but there is some stuff out there. I think the FAA is trying to provide resources for pilot training and infrastructure. They're investing in airports. Anyway, I don't want to talk about reauthorization bill. I'm here to talk about the last tip is, really try to speak to I think if I was to distill this topic down, and I know we're talking about funding here primarily, but the bigger picture is not really funding, but it's understanding who your customer is, what's their biggest challenge, what's their biggest headache, or I don't know if I can make this work. What's that biggest thing, and then and confronting it. It's handling objections, right? So if the biggest objection for you guys is, "Hey, I can't afford this," well then say, "How can you afford this?" Don't say, "I can't afford this." How can you afford it? We work with financing companies. We suggest you save up. Maybe for 6 months to a year. All you need really is about $10,000 just to get started, get your solo endorsement hopefully by then. And then by the time you're already ready to go, you're getting ready for check ride. And hopefully by the time you studied to get your solo, you've already saved up another, $3,000-4,000, and you should be able to get your check ride done. Work with them. That's the main thing. So that's kind of the main thing here. So let's sum up here. So we got the first tip, website. Get your website done. Get it fixed to make it look right. Just do it. Second one, I'm scrolling really fast here. Second one, create a good onboarding experience. Make sure our place is clean. Making sure that you design and engineer every single step of the customer journey. Every step of the customer journey needs to be thought out of. It needs to be thought. You need to put some thought towards it. When they fill this form, what email are they getting? After they get this email, who's calling them? After they call them, what are they saying on the call? What points do they want to reach? Have some type of sales script ready for your front desk. Grow your reviews. That's really strong. Grow your reviews. Interact with your customer base, not just you, not just the CFIs. You as the owner, you as the manager, you interact with your customer base. The last one here, get to know your customer really well. Understand what their problems are, handle the objections, and provide guidance on how they can actually do this. It is financing is a big part of it. Financials are a big part of it. There is a high barrier to entry. So a lot of the leads that go to flight schools, let's say a flight school gets 100 leads in this 1 month, ideally we can get at least 10 of those to be students, ideally. A lot of the other 90 people are going to have questions about financing. Have something on your website about financing, give options for them. So, all right, so that's all I have. We need help implement. This is the last call to action here. So I'm going to eat the cake that I preached, right? So, if you're a flight school owner, you enjoyed this type of content, you enjoyed understanding, looking over the 5 tips of growing your flight school, enrolling more student pilots, give me a call. Check out our website. Subscribe, like, follow, whatever it is. Do your thing, and we'll talk soon. See ya.